In this video, I want to talk a little bit about examiners. Examiners in speaking exams. I'm mostly going to talk about IELTS, but this applies to all speaking exams, really. So in IELTS, there's only one examiner. It's just you and the examiner. And that means that students can get very anxious about the examiner because they're on their own with this stranger. They don't know who this person is, and yet this person is potentially giving them a very important grade in their academic life. So IELTS examiners are very carefully trained. I'm not an IELTS examiner, but I do know that in order to examine for IELTS, you have to go through very special training. Not only that, but the examiners have supervisors, so they kind of have someone who is checking on them, and if I'm correct, the supervisors also have a supervisor. So there's a real effort within IELTS to make sure that the examination is as fair as possible. Now, with that said, obviously the examiners are individual people. They have personalities, they have feelings, they have good days, they have bad days, they get tired and they get hungry, just like me and you. So that means that they are all going to be a little bit different, and you must not let that concern you. So sometimes students worry because they feel the examiner interrupted them, and they worry, what did that mean? Why were they interrupting me? What was it about me? And what I would say is that if you were interrupted a lot in part 1 of the IELTS speaking exam, that could be because your answers were too long. This is a really common problem in IELTS. Part 1 answers should be short, simple and to the point. If you are talking too much, the examiner will interrupt you. If you are interrupted in part 3, it could be because you're talking too much and the examiner wants you to stop. It could be because they want to ask you another question, because they want to know what you think. Either way, the best way to deal with this problem is by absolutely preparing very carefully, being absolutely clear what kind of length your answers want to be in part 1 and part 2, and allowing the examiner to interrupt you in part 3 if they feel they need to. It's part of a conversation. Of course, the opposite of that in part 3 can be the examiners who don't really say so much, and maybe they allow you to keep on talking. And again, that can be quite nerve-wracking because people think, why don't they stop me? Why don't they stop me? But that could just be the personality of that examiner. They might want to hear what you think. They might believe in giving you the space to share your thoughts and feelings. Obviously, also the examiners, some of them are very friendly, some of them are not so friendly, some of them might be very warm, very welcoming, some of them might be a little bit more cold and a little bit more distant. And that is not about you. That is the personality and the beliefs of that examiner, which is influencing how they behave in the exam. Your job as the candidate is to go into that exam and speak as well as you possibly can, regardless of how the examiner is behaving. Okay? So the best way to familiarize yourself with examiners is simply to watch lots and lots of video. So if you go to YouTube, you can find tons of IELTS speaking videos. You can find also Cambridge ones. You can watch them and get a good idea of different examiners, how they behave, and what they do, so that when you go into your exam, you can do your very best in the speaking. My name is Sarah. I'm an English teacher and language anxiety coach. I help people overcome their fear of speaking and using English. Thanks for watching.